Imagine if there was another you, living a completely different life in a totally different world. Intriguing, isn't it? This is not a mere flight of fancy or a product of sci-fi literature. In fact, it's a concept deeply rooted in quantum physics, a theoretical proposition that has enthralled scientists and philosophers alike, the concept of parallel worlds. In the grand scheme of the cosmos, our universe may not be the only game in town. There could exist multiple, perhaps infinite other universes just like ours, but with slight variations. These universes comprise what we call the multiverse. Now let's take a moment to visualize this idea. Think of a tree, a vast tree with innumerable branches. Each branch represents a different universe, and each twig on that branch symbolizes a different reality within that universe. Every decision you make, every path you choose, every action you take could potentially create a divergence, a split in your timeline. This split generates a new branch, a new world where a different version of you exists, living out the consequences of that alternate choice. It's a mind-boggling concept, we know. You could be sipping coffee in this world while another version of you might be sipping tea in a parallel world. In another, you might be a renowned scientist discovering new dimensions of reality, or perhaps you're a rock star, enthralling audiences with your music. This isn't about fantasy or make-believe. This is about the boundless possibilities that quantum physics opens up for us. The idea of parallel worlds encourages us to explore the limitless potential of what could be, what might have been, or what may yet come to pass. So, could there be a world where dinosaurs never went extinct, or where you are a famous movie star? As we delve deeper into the mysteries of the multiverse, we might just find that the answers are far more fascinating and perhaps even more bewildering than we could ever imagine. The idea of parallel worlds isn't just a wild fantasy, it's deeply rooted in quantum mechanics. Now, quantum mechanics isn't your everyday physics. It's the science that describes the strange behaviors of particles at the tiniest scales. It's a realm where things seem to defy common sense and our everyday experiences. One of the most intriguing aspects of quantum mechanics is the uncertainty principle proposed by Werner Heisenberg. In simple terms, this principle tells us that you can never precisely know both the position and the momentum of a particle at the same time. The more accurately one measures one quantity, the less accurately the other can be known. It's a bit like trying to catch a slippery eel. The harder you try to grasp it, the more likely it is to squirm out of your hands. But let's bring this concept down to earth with a more familiar analogy. Imagine flipping a coin. The moment it leaves your hand, it's spinning in the air, and it could land either heads or tails. In that moment, it's in a state of uncertainty, much like a quantum particle. In the world of quantum mechanics, particles can exist in multiple states at once, a phenomenon known as superposition. So, going back to our coin analogy, it's as if the coin is both heads and tails at the same time until we look at it. This concept might seem hard to grasp, but it's fundamental to the theory of quantum mechanics. Now, if particles can exist in multiple states at once, then it's not a stretch to think that entire worlds could do the same. This is where the idea of parallel worlds comes into play. Each decision, each random event, could spawn a new, parallel universe where things played out differently. These aren't just idle musings. They're serious scientific theories that could radically change our understanding of the universe. Quantum mechanics tells us that the world isn't as simple as it seems. It opens the door to a multiverse of possibilities. One interpretation of quantum mechanics, called the many worlds interpretation, takes this concept of parallel worlds to a whole new level. The many worlds interpretation is a hypothesis that takes the idea of parallel worlds and supercharges it. This theory suggests that every possible outcome to every event defines or exists in its own world. So, rather than having a single linear timeline, reality could be a vast branching tree of possibilities, with each branch representing a different outcome. To help you visualize this, imagine a book, not just any book, but a choose-your-own-adventure book. You know the ones, where you're reading along and suddenly you come to a decision point. Do you go into the haunted house or run away? Do you fight the dragon or seek a peaceful resolution? Each choice you make takes you down a different path, leading to a different ending. Now imagine that every choice you've ever made, every decision, every random event is like that book, but instead of leading to a different ending, each choice creates an entirely new world. A world where you did go into the haunted house or didn't fight the dragon. This interpretation suggests that there isn't just one universe, but an infinite number of universes, each representing a different possible outcome. It's as if every time a decision is made, the universe splits into different versions, each following a different path, a different storyline. It's a theory that challenges our understanding of reality, suggesting that the world we know is just one of an infinite number of possible worlds. Each world is real, but they're all isolated from each other. We can't hop from one to another or even have any awareness of the other worlds. According to the many worlds interpretation, every choice you've ever made has created a new world. It's a mind-boggling concept, isn't it? The idea that there's a version of you out there who made different choices, who lived a different life, it's a thought that's both awe-inspiring and a little bit humbling. Now that we've explored the science behind parallel worlds, let's consider what these worlds might look like. To begin with, the nature of parallel worlds is so unpredictable that it's akin to venturing into the unknown. These worlds could potentially mirror our own in striking detail, or they might be as alien to us as the most distant corners of the universe. Imagine you're on a trail in the woods, and you come across a fork in the path. One route may lead you to a serene meadow, while the other could take you to a majestic waterfall. Each path represents a different decision, and each decision creates a unique outcome. In the context of parallel worlds, each path could symbolize a different version of reality. Now, consider the countless decisions you make every day. From the mundane, like what to have for breakfast, to the monumental, such as choosing a career or a life partner. Each of these decisions could potentially branch off into a new parallel universe. In one world, you might be a renowned artist, while in another, you could be a celebrated scientist. But it's not just our decisions that could shape these parallel worlds. Even events beyond our control, like natural disasters or cosmic occurrences, could spawn different realities. For instance, in a parallel universe, the dinosaurs might have never gone extinct, leading to an Earth dominated by reptilian life forms instead of mammals. And then there's the question of physical laws. Could there be a parallel universe where gravity works differently, or where light travels at a different speed? The possibilities are truly endless and mind-boggling. This concept of parallel worlds is both fascinating and humbling. It challenges our understanding of reality and forces us to contemplate the infinite possibilities that lie beyond our own world. In a parallel world, you could be living an entirely different life, based on a single decision you made differently. As we delve into the concept of parallel worlds, it's clear that it's more than just science fiction. This hypothesis, once the territory of imaginative authors, now finds its roots firmly embedded in the soil of quantum mechanics. It's a theory that has intrigued scientists and laymen alike, teasing our curiosity with the tantalizing prospect of countless realities existing side by side. Let's take a moment to recap what we've unraveled so far. Our journey began with the exploration of parallel worlds, a concept that suggests the existence of multiple, independent realities. These realities, each as real as our own, could be unfolding in parallel to our universe. We then ventured into the realm of quantum mechanics, the scientific framework that underpins this concept. Quantum mechanics, with its wave functions and superposition, opened up the possibility of multiple outcomes occurring simultaneously. This led to the birth of the many worlds interpretation. The many worlds interpretation, a brainchild of physicist Hugh Everett, posits that, with every quantum event, the universe splits into multiple versions, each following a different outcome. It's a theory that paints a picture of an infinite multiverse, where every decision we make spawns a new universe. So what might these parallel worlds look like? Well, they could be eerily similar to our own, differing only in the smallest details. Or they could be radically different, shaped by choices and events that diverged significantly from our timeline. The possibilities are as vast as the multiverse itself. While we may not have definitive proof of parallel worlds yet, the science behind this concept makes it a fascinating possibility worth exploring. Until then, we can only imagine the countless other worlds that might exist, each one shaped by a different choice, a different path taken. As we continue our pursuit of understanding the universe, we keep pushing the boundaries of our knowledge, forever intrigued by the mysteries that lie just beyond our grasp.